Hi guys. Did you know that you can grow potatoes at home? I didn't, not till last year. I actually thought you had to live up in Idaho. It might seem silly, but all I'd ever heard about is Idaho potatoes. Actually, you can grow them just about anywhere, and they're very easy to grow. There are four basic ways of planting potatoes. One is in ground, where you would dig holes or a trench, about 6 inches deep. You need to make sure if you have a clay or a heavy soil that you amend it so that it is more fluffy, because the roots and the potatoes need to be able to spread out. You can also put them in raised beds, which is one of the things I did last year and I'm also doing this year. You can put them in grow bags, which is what we're going to be doing today. And then you can also do something called the Ruth Stout method, which is where you lay the potatoes on top of the ground and then you just cover them with a thick layer of straw. They will begin sprouting, they will grow, and create potatoes underneath the straw, between the dirt and the straw. From what I've seen, it works beautifully. I may try that later this season, but right now we're going to go ahead and plant in a grow bag. I got seed potatoes from Menards. It's a really good deal. I got these last year. They did very well. I have Yukon Gold, 5 pounds for $7, and Red Norland, 5 pounds for $7. So if you don't want to pay $20 a pound or go to Walmart and get 5 potatoes for $5, this is a really good option. Another option is to buy organic potatoes in your produce area of your grocery store. You want to probably stay away from the conventional potatoes because those a lot of times are sprayed with a sprout inhibitor, and you do want the potatoes to start sprouting before you plant them. So this is an example of a potato that has started to sprout. So in preparation for planting them, you have a couple of options. You could plant this whole, which given the size of this is what I'm going to do. Or you could actually cut this in half. And what you would do is cut it right here in between. So you would have this one as a potato or piece that you planted, and then this side would be a piece that you planted. So that is an option if you want to make more. This is such a small potato though, that I'm not going to worry about cutting it. I do have some others that were larger that I cut. And if you're going to cut your potatoes, you want to make sure again that you have a sprout on each, at least one sprout on each section. A strong one is good. And then you want to probably do them a day or so before you're going to plant. That way it allows the soft exposed area to scab over, and it will help prevent disease from entering the potato and it just rotting on you. I am running an experiment. I had potatoes that I grew last year that went to seed. They started sprouting inside. I don't have a good cold storage option for them. So the area where they were stored was a little bit too warm for their liking. So they started to grow. So in late December, January, I went ahead and amended one of my garden beds, planted those potatoes in it just to see. It's like, hey, if you can overwinter potatoes, if you can you miss one and it comes up the next year, maybe I could do that with those. And they have actually started growing. Now, we unfortunately had a little bit of a frost earlier this week, which killed the top vegetation, but I'm hopeful that they'll come back. So I will give you an update on that a little bit later on. They should come back soon, I'm hopeful. So let me show you how to get these planted. I'd like to welcome you to my backyard Kentucky homestead, by the way. My name is Kim. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you like this information, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. So let's get started. So I have about a 20-gallon grow bag here. I just got these off Amazon. I can link below where I got them. I'm going to use a bag of organic potting mix. This is what I've used for the other food-related items. It's from Walmart. It's Whitney Farms organic potting soil. I had really good luck with it last year. I was very happy with it. So I'm just going to spread that around. According to the planting directions on the package for the potatoes, it said that they like very acidic soil. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the soil acidifier. Couple of handfuls. This is a really big bag. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a general fertilizer. It's a Garden Tone. It's a 344 NPK. Now, potatoes really need the middle number to be high, so we're also going to add some bone meal, which is a 217-0. It's also organic. get a good 2 handfuls. So, oh, there's a little hole in the bag. So we're gonna add bone meal, which is just scratch that in there, mix it up. Try not to breathe in the dust. So potatoes need a lot of space because they grow down the potatoes grow along the roots of the plant. So I don't think that this is quite deep enough. I'm going to add a little bit more potting soil to bring the level up. I'm going to go ahead and just mix what I had earlier so it's all thoroughly mixed through. Okay, for good measure, I'm going to add just a little bit more. Then I'm going to take my potatoes, put them in here, just tuck them down in. You want probably about 6 inches in between. You may not get as many potatoes growing in a bag as you will with in-ground soil because there's just so much, there's infinite amount of space in the ground where there isn't in the bag. But I had really good luck with growing these last year. So we're gonna do 6 potatoes, 5 around and 1 in the center. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add some compost on top of that. What I'm using is just a local, I got this at Home Depot. So it's just with a locally created organic humus and manure. So 0.5 across the board. Okay, I'll put just a hair more fertilizer on top of it. Because potatoes are very heavy feeders, we will want to go ahead and add more of the granular fertilizer probably every 3 or so weeks. It is a slow release, but we want to make sure that it is there throughout the growing season. Now, the Yukon Gold, which is what I'm planting here, are a 80 to 90 day harvest. So there's almost 3 months that we have to make sure that they are fed well. Once the plants grow, they will eventually flower. And when they are flowering, they will actually start setting the tubers underneath. And then when the plants die back, you want to wait for about 2 weeks to make sure everything is dry. Stop watering it at the point where the plants start dying back because we want the ground or the dirt to be dry so that when we pull the potatoes out of it, they're not overly soaked, muddy, or just not wet. Now, once the plants start to grow, I will then use a pine bedding, animal bedding mulch on top to help control the water. But where it is around March 20th, we are still probably going to have some cold weather coming through, and I want to make sure that this gets enough sun to warm up the dirt. So last summer, I had 2 harvests of potatoes. One was early and one was a little bit later. Again, they didn't last long enough. My plan is to grow multiple successions of potatoes. Whether that will work or not, I don't know. I do live in a fairly hot and humid area during the summer. So I'm not sure if it'll work or if it'll get too diseased. One thing is if you are going to do subsequent plantings, especially if you're going to do a fall harvest, don't reuse the dirt. I did try that last year. It did not work well. Potatoes are part of the nightshade family, like peppers and tomatoes, and they are all very susceptible to blight and other dirt-borne diseases. So if you're going to do subsequent plantings, succession planting of potatoes, make sure that you're using fresh soil that hasn't been used for a nightshade before. So again, my plan this year is to plant probably at the end of April now, because this is about March 20th. So I'm going to plant maybe about April 20th, May 20th, and then June 20th. And what I'm hoping is that then I can have a succession of potatoes I'm ready for tomatoes already. But I'm hoping to have a succession of potatoes in that's a little bit smaller, but will stay usable longer, since they will be coming in at different times during the season. So we'll see how that goes. Please stick with me and see how it works out. Thank you for joining me. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. And if this information was helpful, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you.